Hey everyone, welcome back. Do you know us? If you don't, you should. We're the Salty Sisters, and I have a question for you, and maybe for you too, Yvonne. So, when you hear the word or the phrase heart health, what's the first thing that comes to mind? But what usually gets ignored? When you hear heart health, you're like, or do you go, ooh, heart, but you don't hear health, or maybe you hear health, but you don't hear heart.
Wait,
Go with
what?
that. Go with
What?
that.
What's the question?
Woo, I'm spicy
You
today.
are spicy today, right out of the gate.
Yeah.
Heart health. I think of middle-aged men right off the bat.
Hmm. Heart
But
attacks, stuff
yeah,
like that.
heart
Yeah.
attacks,
Yeah.
things like that.
Not good
But
stuff.
right.
Hmm.
But it's actually one of the biggest issues for women in menopause
Yeah.
and perimenopause. Like it brings on those hormone changes can really shake things up. That being
Hmm.
said, I just want to say neither Kat nor I are doctors, nurses, or medical experts. So we just thought that by the way, today is National Wear Red Day. Hello. And it is National Heart Health Month. And
Hmm.
in thinking about that, we thought, well, that's what we got to talk about for February. So we just want to share like what we've learned, what we're noticing, and what's
Hmm.
helped us. And it's not medical advice by any stretch of the
No.
imagination, but I hope you think of this as like a starting point, a place to start looking into things for yourself.
Absolutely. But
Yeah.
before we go further, we have to introduce ourselves,
Oh
okay?
yeah,
If
that
you
would be great.
don't know, you should know. We're the Salty Sisters. I'm Kat Corchado. I'm sorry, I'm the freaking fabulous Kat Corchado. I am a proud military veteran and the founder of Fit for Life Alliance.
Hello, Kat Corchado. You are
Hello,
freaking
Yvonne.
fabulous. And I am Yvonne Marchese, choking up on my own name. Hi, I'm Yvonne Marchese. I am an
Mhm.
age agitator. I'm also a play instigator. I'm a believer in do-overs. I like to roller skate and hula hoop. And um, what I'm aiming for is playful aging. That's what I'm aiming for. And I'm
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to spread that around liberally in the world as an idea. So I do that here with my salty sister, Kat Corchado, every month. We're here the first Friday of the month,
Mhm.
and come on
We
back.
pick a subject to talk about,
Yeah.
something that, that we're both interested in that maybe, those of you listening probably don't really think about on the regular. And I think our heart, I hope it's obvious why we're wearing red because, red hearts. Okay, maybe it should be purple because I do purple hearts all the time. But I think that when I think of heart health, being in the fitness industry for as long as I have, I think of the health part of it. What can I do to strengthen my heart? What can I do to help my heart? And it's not just exercise. It's the whole package from top to bottom. Whatever you do here is going to affect this, or whatever you don't do.
Uh-huh. Yes,
Uh-huh.
indeed.
So, what are things that you do, Yvonne, that you think helps your heart?
I do a lot of home cooking, first of
Hmm.
all, and that gives me control over what I'm eating. I have to say, okay, here's a little something that you'd think would be a real bummer that has actually probably kept me and my husband much healthier is that my
Hmm.
husband is allergic to garlic. And because of that, I buy less processed food. We don't go out to eat as much. And so when I'm cooking, I have to put a little more thought into it, into flavor
Hmm.
and to all the things. And so, yeah, so it makes me think about what I'm putting in my
Hmm.
body a little more often than I might have otherwise. Um, yeah, and I move every day
Let me
somehow.
move this. I don't know why that's there. I'm sorry. I was like, why is it? What is that?
What is that thing?
I'm
What?
sorry.
Squirrel?
My bad. I'm sorry. Continue.
That's okay. that was funny. Yeah, what I do is I keep my body moving. That's another
Mhm,
thing. Like I keep hearing the term from PT lately for a broken elbow here that
mhm.
lotion motion is lotion, and you
Yes,
always say keep it moving.
keep it moving, yeah.
And I think that that is one of the basic things that we
Mhm,
can do for ourselves, for our
mhm,
future selves
mhm.
around heart health is just to keep moving.
Absolutely. For full transparency, my husband does all the cooking in our family, and he's fabulous at it, I'm just gonna say.
I've heard
And
a lot about it
I
actually.
yes, you have. And I feel as though, everything Peter does is like garlic based. Like he uses it for flavor. So
So
I'm
he
thinking,
would
what would
want
my
to cook
world feel
croûton.
like without garlic? I'd be like, oh, and he would be great at it. He knows how to, um, cook food with flavor, and
Uh-huh.
I'm pretty sure he'd be able to do it without garlic. But what is something that you do mentally that helps your heart?
I meditate every day,
Mhm.
and I started that now that I think about it, I'm 57 now, so I'm close to 10 years of being a daily meditator,
Mm,
and it changed my life. It changed
mhm,
the way I handle stress, and for a while there, thought, "Am I imagining that I'm better?" So I asked my husband,
mhm,
and I said, am I just wishful thinking here, or am I better
mhm,
at handling stressful
mhm.
situations?" And he was like, "You're definitely better." So I have
Nice.
I have confirmation.
Mhm,
Um, and cortisol and stress is a killer. It
mhm,
causes inflammation in the body, and from what
mhm,
I understand, again, not a doctor, but inflammation is a massive trigger for
mhm.
ongoing health problems of all kinds.
And inflammation doesn't mean pain. You can have inflammation and there's no pain.
Mhm. Yeah, so I
And
really try to manage my stress. It's part of
mhm,
why it's part of the inquiry that I'm
mhm,
into playfulness.
mhm,
How can I not only incorporate playful breaks in my day and playful
mhm,
things to do, but also
mhm,
how can I be playful about life? Because life ain't always pleasant, right?
mhm,
And there's stuff I have to do for business that frankly is not fun. But I'm like, how
mhm,
can if I can stop for just a minute and go, okay, Yvonne, you're stressing, you're grinding,
mhm,
and the minute I can become aware of that, that's a moment where I
mhm,
have agency and I can make a
mhm,
choice, and I can go, "Okay, how can
mhm.
I take this a little more lightly?" So,
I think for me, when, meditating is, I don't have time. I just really don't. And when I do have time, my brain's like, "Woo," well, it's like all this activity. So what I have found that works really well for me is breathing, different types of breathing.
mhm.
The inhale for 5, hold for 5. What do they call that? Box breathing? Is that what they call
Yeah,
that?
and actually, I would call
Mhm.
that a form of meditation.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
But
would.
I think that works a lot better for me. But for anyone out there that, what when Yvonne was talking about the cortisol, it's your fight or flight. It's when you're, think back in the day when, a tiger's chasing you. That's some fight or flight for
Yeah,
you.
and actually, we're
Hmm.
built to do that
Yes.
kind of cortisol. That's, like,
Yeah.
helpful. That's like,
Yeah.
get out of the way, get out of danger,
But we're
right?
not built to have our cortisol, that fight or flight, up here all the time. It's meant for
Exactly.
the moment, and then the moment's over, and then it comes down. But in today's society, we're up here all the time. And so I hear people say, "Oh, such and such, is really ill, but they were so healthy." And I'm like, "Were they? Were they healthy, but they were what do they call that when you're a highly functional stressed person?"
Yeah, yeah,
And I
like, you
think,
may be doing all the right
mhm.
things, but if you're
Mhm.
doing all the right things and it feels like it's not and you're not taking care of this
Mhm.
mental space,
Yeah.
then it's only it'll
Mhm.
help, I'm not saying like I
Mhm.
don't think you can totally discount like somebody who goes out and runs every day and,
Right.
but yeah, that's going to help
Mhm.
you for sure.
So we've named two. What's one other that you've heard of or that you've done that
Excuse
could
me.
possibly help people, you know, they're like, "Oh, I'm not a meditator. I'm not really sure I can do that." Breathing, I mean, you breathe. No, that's about as simple as you can get. But what's something else that you've heard that helps with the fight or flight?
Um, well, here's the thing. I think get out for a walk in nature. That's
Mhm.
the first thing that comes to mind. But really, it's about finding what is stress relief for you,
Mhm.
and I'll call that play because that's where I
Mhm.
come from these days. And there's going to be certain activities where when you're doing them, they feel light. They don't feel heavy. It feels like fun. Time flies.
Mhm.
And if you can find out what that is for yourself, and you may not
Mhm.
even know what that is anymore. As a kid, you
Mhm.
knew what it was, but as an adult living in constant go, go, go,
Mhm.
we forget how to tap into that. And if you can figure out what that is,
Mhm.
do more of it.
I think we need to go back to childhood. I've got my pencils and my coloring book. I just bought a thing of Jacks. Remember
You
Jacks?
did get your jacks?
Yes. And
Awesome.
Yvonne,
When
you've
are we
been
gonna
doing
play?
hula hooping.
I
I'm
have. I
thinking we
got a
could
hula
play
hoop.
virtual.
I got a hula hoop for Christmas, and I've been
Mhm.
taking, like, little 2-minute, 3-minute breaks in the middle of the
Mhm.
day. Um, it was harder to keep it up than I first thought it was gonna be, but
Mhm.
that got better after a few days, and I can go, but boy, it gets my heart pumping,
Can you
girl.
do it from your waist down to your ankles and back up
No,
to your waist?
no. I have tried, and I've tried, like, changing the direction
Mhm.
'cause
That's
I
hard. Yeah,
whoa, yeah,
that's
yeah, that
hard.
hasn't worked yet, and I've
Mhm.
tried doing the knees. No,
Mhm.
epic fail, but it's
But
fun
you were having
anyway.
fun. Yes.
Yes.
And I think part of the stress that really affects our heart is that it's go, 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 do, do, do. And when people hear coloring, they're like, well, that children do that. There are a lot of adults that color. And you know what I found when I'm doing the coloring or the jacks is that I'm so ingrained in what I'm doing. And I'm not good at jacks anymore, but I really try. I'm not thinking about anything else.
Yeah,
And afterwards I go, oh wow. I did not think about anything while I was doing it.
yeah,
And that's where your body just
yep,
and find that thing that you used to do as a child. Or maybe it is a walk where there's no agenda. I call them no agenda walks, where
mm,
you're noticing, the sun on your face, or, what do I see? What do I smell? What do I hear? Those types
mhm,
of things. And those work too.
yeah,
But it's
absolutely,
just it's like, oh, I don't have time. Sure you do. You got 5 minutes. Maybe you can't walk in 5 minutes, but maybe you can do something that helps bring that cortisol level down and helps with that stress,
yeah.
you know?
Midlife brings on its own set of stress, but,
Hmm.
like, just life in general these days is built like as a stress bomb type
Yes.
experience, right? But when suddenly you're in menopause and you might have to add on caregiving for older adults or a
Hmm.
spouse, you know, menopause, that the hormonal shifts are nutsy Fagan, burnout, your kids are now adults and that comes with its own weird set of parenting
Yes.
problems, um so all that stuff adds up to continued stress, and
Hmm.
you gotta find your
Hmm.
way in to
Hmm.
managing that. And can we talk for a minute about like the difference for women and what heart health or a heart attack looks like?
You're just reading my mind, Yvonne.
Am
I was like,
I?
oh, I'm gonna jump in and with this question, and you segued right into that. So you go, girl.
um so a family member of mine had a heart attack recently, And the symptoms, I had no idea. Nausea, like
Mm-hmm.
couldn't stop throwing up. Fatigue for weeks beforehand, which just was assumed to just be fatigue because
Mm-hmm.
life, right? And
Right.
age
Yeah.
and all those things. But yeah, the that whole thing about nausea, I had no idea. Um, I think we all know that, pressure and
Mm-hmm.
tightness, it may not always be painful though. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It can come and go in a woman,
Mm-hmm.
and just feel uncomfortable instead of
Mm-hmm.
painful.
I've heard of also upper back pain going
Exactly.
going into the neck, and
Mhm.
I was like, who knew?
Yeah.
Guys
Yeah.
have such distinct symptoms, and of course, and also to reiterate what you were saying is about these symptoms is that we are so busy that we're just kind of like, why am I nauseated? I'm like, okay, no big deal, right? Or why is my back hurting? Or why well, again, why am I throwing up? That's a biggie. But we don't we don't stop to think that it could be a symptom of a heart attack.
I'm just thinking of a story. I'm just thinking of a story. So, about 2 years ago when my dad was in decline, I went to visit my parents, and probably it was a couple of days after he passed away, I think. I got so nauseous sick, and I'm away from home and couldn't stop throwing up. And my mom, bless her, made me go to urgent care because I was like, I'm just throwing up. I just, you know, and if anything, I just wanted some anti nausea pills. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm not sick otherwise. Like, I don't know what this is, but it's clearly stress related somehow.
Hmm.
Anyway, she takes me to urgent care, and they are like, the doctor at urgent care is like, I think you need to go to the ER because I'm not comfortable sending you home without sending you to the ER. And I'm like, he didn't say anything about that he
Hmm.
was worried about a heart attack, but I guess that's what now that I know what
Hmm.
happened, that's a thing. So
Hmm.
sent me off to the ER where they pumped me full of fluids, understandably, and then, but also did an EKG on me and did all this stuff. And I just remember kind of thinking at the time, boy, this is a lot of or nothing, you know?
Hmm.
But it's possible. Like they're looking at me and they're like,
Hmm.
56-year-old
Hmm.
woman or whatever I was at the time. Yeah, let's look at
Yeah.
that possibility.
But I think also too is that when women do go, so let's say you're having a symptom of something like that, and you go to the doctor and they just go, oh, it's stress, or oh, it's menopausal. Like we get dismissed.
Mhm.
And I think we as women have to fight harder to be heard than a guy. Guy goes, oh, a guy goes, oh, come on, I'm gonna take care of you. A woman's like, you go in there and they're like, it's stress and you should be fine. Just go home. I'm thinking that at what point, and I think it's a gut issue. Like when you not as a gut issue as having a gut issue, but that gut instinct where
Mhm.
something's wrong, but
Yeah.
nobody will listen to you. And I think that as women, we need to advocate for ourselves the way we would advocate for our children.
Yeah.
We will go through a brick wall for our kids, but when it comes to our health, we're like, it's a little nauseous. It's a little
Yeah.
this. It's not a big deal. We have to advocate for ourselves. When I go into a doctor and they go, it's just you are getting older. And I get very frosty. And I'm like, wow, they pay you to say that to patients? And then the doctor either
That is a
gets
common that's a common refrain, and there is ageism built into the
Mhm.
medical system to begin with, but gendered ageism. When a
Mhm.
woman comes in and is of a certain age, you're very likely to be
Mhm.
pushed off. Your concerns are very likely to not be taken seriously. And so that you really do need to, in fact, a lot of times, if you go in with somebody else, I've heard
Mhm.
tell of doctors talking to the somebody else who's in the room with you instead of
Mhm.
you. You know, if you're an older woman and you go in with maybe a child, maybe a kid brings you in, very likely to just circumvent even talking to women who are older. So
That
that,
happened to be with my dad when my dad was ill,
mhm,
and I'm the oldest in the family. And I had asked a question straight to the doctor, and he looked at my brother, and I'm like, "Excuse me, I'm right here." He's like,
mm,
"Well, he was talking all this medical talk." And I said, "Can you break this down for me?" And he turned and looked at my brother, and I go, "No, talk to me. Act like I'm 5 years old, and you have to talk to me and make me understand what's happening with my dad." And he was not happy. And he goes, "Well, maybe I shouldn't be on this case." I go, "Well, maybe you shouldn't." And he straightened up real quick. He was like, "Okay." And my brother looked at me like, "Wow." And I'm like, "We're not playing this. We are not playing this today." Hey, wait, have I introduced myself?
the freaking fabulous Cat Corchado is in the house. I love it. You're my hero. Oh my
So
gosh.
I think that, we're afraid of hurting people's feelings. We need to
Yeah.
start getting past ourselves and say, "This is your job, do your job. And if you
Yeah.
can't, then I'll find another doctor." Yvonne, what kind of movements, what kind of things do you think help support our health?
Well, you're the movement expert, Kat.
Well,
I
that's why I asked you, because I want you to, kind of think, well, these are like you mentioned one, where
mhm.
you're doing, but I think yoga is great,
I was gonna my
especially
answer was gonna be
restorative.
any movement, and
Hmm.
especially movement that you enjoy and will do,
Yes.
and not feel and not and where it won't feel like punishment as
Hmm.
exercise very often can.
Hmm.
So, walks are wonderful for women. And, I'm trying to, I mean, I can't really do a lot of lifting right now because I'm still in recovery with my elbow, but heavy lifting, right? And you can speak to that better than I
Hmm.
can. But yoga is something that I definitely do. I'm working on balance, but I don't know that that's necessarily heart health related. I have a balance board, and I also have a slack line that I play around
Well, you
on.
have to be very in tune with your body to balance. And
Yeah.
I think that's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I call it yummy stretching. And it really is like in the mornings I do some yoga like movements. It's like a mix of qigong and yoga, and I kind of follow my impulses in the
Hmm.
mornings. I'll do cat and cow stretches, I'll do planks, I'll
Hmm.
do it's like, what did I do yesterday and what haven't I done in a while and what do I
Hmm.
feel like now? And I try to keep my hips I try to do
Hmm.
things that'll, keep my hips, flexing. Deep, deep squats I'm doing much more
Hmm.
of these days, like going down, like,
Hmm.
low and
Oh, when your
staying.
legs are wide and you can just, yeah.
Yes, going
Yeah.
down and staying low, and I'll even
Hmm.
do those low squats up to standing a
Hmm.
few times. I don't beat myself up too much at
Yeah.
all. When I do your 11-minute challenge, I'm always challenged. Let's just say, because you are doing things that I'm not used to doing, and you
Hmm.
do them at a pace that's maybe a little bit more than I would normally do for
Hmm.
myself, which is great. So
Hmm.
anybody who I'm just gonna, because I'm gonna plug it because I know you won't. In February, towards the end of the month, anybody who
23rd
wants
through the 27th.
23rd through the 27th,
Hmm.
come join Kat's complimentary 11-minute a day
Hmm.
challenge. You got 11 minutes. You've got 11 minutes. You can do this.
You can do this.
Sign up, show up.
Hmm.
What is it? 5 days?
It's 5 days
5 days in a
for
row.
11
You're
minutes,
you're on
6:30
for like
p.m. Eastern time.
yeah, and it goes for like
Hmm.
20 to 30 minutes total, like with the intro, hello, getting set
Yeah, we
up,
do the warm
right?
up, and then the
Yeah.
11 minutes actually starts. And then and then I stop the clock, we do a cool down, and then you're done.
Yeah.
So
And
maybe 20 minutes total.
yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
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 And then like I'm always like, whoo. I remember the last time we were doing the 11-minute challenge. I don't know, it was day 2 or 3 or something.
Hmm.
And we'd been doing a number of different things. And at a certain point you
Hmm.
said, okay, now we're gonna do some cardio. And I was like, well, what have we been doing, woman?
Well, that's what I love about it because it's very heart centered. Okay, so for anyone, like when you go to the gym, you get on the cardio equipment. They call it the bell curve. So you get on the cardio equipment, your heart rate goes up, and then it just does this. And then you stop and it
Mm,
goes down. What the 11-minute challenge does, it's based on the high intensity interval training, although it's not high intensity, and it takes your heart rate up and then you rest. And then you go up and then you rest. And you go, and that's better for your heart actually.
that's
Is
cool.
so think about when you have to carry bags of groceries up a flight of stairs. That's high intensity interval training right there.
That's why I
Okay.
work out, so I can bring my groceries upstairs
Could you
because I
bring your
live up.
groceries upstairs? Yeah.
So, and I just want to mention something for anybody who's kind of starting from zero. Kat
Hmm.
modifies everything. So
Everything.
she'll show you like the lower intensity
Hmm.
options, and then something if you're feeling kind of juicy that day and you're ready to go, she'll give you that option too, you know.
Yeah. I love
So,
choices, and I know what it's like to go into a class and you don't know anybody, you're in the back, you don't know the choreography, you don't know anything. And that's where that start is when I was teaching step aerobics and I had to teach to everybody, every level in the class. So it's very good for your heart, and it's, you don't have to do all the things, but do a little something, to see how you feel. And 11 minutes is just enough because it takes about 10 minutes for those good feel good hormones to kick in. You're like, yeah, let's do this.
every time I do your challenge at the when I'm done, I'm like, I did that.
I just,
I
like, I
I
did
did
that.
I did that. It's great. It's great. And did I mention it's complimentary? There's no reason
Mhm,
for you to not sign up and do
mhm.
it. Where can people sign up, Kat?
You can go to smallspacepilates.com/challenge to sign up.
All right, cool. And there isn't there like a
Mhm.
big thing at the top of your website that
Oh yeah.
says
Yeah,
that
and you can hit
blip?
the hello bar and
Yeah.
sign up. But it's free. It just requires your email, and it's just a way for you to get started. When people hear the word challenge, they're like, "Oh," because they think it's hard. You know what the challenge is? The challenge is for you to start moving. That's what the challenge, to make the decision, whether you realize it or not, to say, I'm going to do something.
Starting is the hardest part. But
Starting
I
is the
wanna say,
hardest
I don't
part.
know what the real challenge is. When you asked me that
Mhm.
question, my
Mhm.
first thought was the real challenge is having to go have open heart surgery.
Oh,
And
that's a
and
challenge. Yes.
that's the real
Yeah.
challenge, right? The
Yeah.
real challenge is having to be on medication for the rest of your life.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I'm preaching now.
Yeah, but I mean, what you're saying is true because, there's a decision to be made. You decide not to move, but then you have all these other things that can go wrong, or you decide to move and maybe alleviate whatever people, because people say all the time, "Oh, it runs in our family." I'm the first person to go, "Yeah, I'm not getting that." Whatever we have in our family, I refuse. I'm just not going to get it. And so that's why I do all the things that I do to prevent, because high blood pressure runs in our family.
Mhm.
And at this point in life, I'm really fighting the blood pressure thing because it's catching up to me, guys. However, I'm still not on medication, but I'm doing other things to help.
Yeah. What are
So,
ooh, so this ties in perfectly.
mhm,
Before we go today, what are you
mhm.
doing to manage your high blood pressure?
Well, having a day off. And when I mean a day off, I mean a day off where I'm not doing anything. That's what I call Catitude Day. Okay. It's
Mhm.
my day to do whatever I want to do whenever I want to do it. I also do what's called yamana body rolling that really takes the stress out of your body and out of your head. And you just feel this sense of peace. If you don't know about yamana body rolling, you should.
Hey,
Moving.
okay, so I'm gonna stop you with yamana body rolling because I know
Okay.
most people are not gonna know what that is because the only
No.
reason I know anything is because of
Right.
you. So with yamana body rolling, you
Mhm.
have some information on your website about that too, don't you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And if if you don't want to go to my website, you can go to Yamuna, YAM as in Mike, UN as in Nick, USA.com. And you can look at all of the stuff there.
Mhm.
And I've been doing it for over 25 years. I continued to do it even after I was certified, which sparked me to get certified again because I think people need this.
Yeah.
It's something you can do when you want to do it. Of course, moving, cardio, what I do for cardio, I walk. Walking is an amazing way to get your cardio in. And then, of course, strength training, because I'll be 69 this year, and strength training is huge for me right now
Yeah. You know
and
what I
has
try to
been.
do, Kat, is
Hmm.
when I call it the yummy stretching or whatever, and I start talking about those low squats and the different things. A lot of what I'm doing, I'm trying to do like functional movement.
Hmm.
So I'll go down on my knee and go down on both knees and then
Hmm.
use my, let's say, over and over 10
Hmm.
times in a row. I'll
Hmm.
get back up from being
Hmm.
on my knees using my left leg. And then
Hmm.
I'll switch and I'll go down and
Hmm.
I'll get up using my right leg and I'll do
Hmm.
10 on each side,
Yep. And
But
that's
I'm always
harder than you think.
it is.
Isn't it hard? It's really
Yes.
you're like, why can't I do this?
Yeah.
So functional movements are huge. And functional movements are just those movements that you do every day. Think about sitting down in a chair and standing up. When you stand up, do you have to push yourself up? Or can you actually get up without using your arms? Reaching across your body. I can't tell you how many people have come in with back injuries, and I'll say, "How did you hurt your back?" And they said, "I was reaching in the back seat of my car."
Mhm.
So I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah.
I want this to be easy. I want it to be fun. I'm fun, can't you tell? Um, but I have a no perfection policy. And the reason, and that's for me too, is there's no such thing as perfect. You do it till you get better at it, and then you keep it moving. And I'm just gonna land my plane right there.
That's why I love you, Kat. Thank God there's no perfection policy. Oh my goodness.
Right?
Yes.
Oh man,
It takes the heat off.
it takes the
Um,
heat off.
Diet-wise, what are you doing now
Mhm.
for blood pressure maintenance?
Well, I had to really cut back on, I wasn't adding salt to anything, but now I'm very cognizant of things that have high sodium.
Mhm.
And so I'm looking at that. So I'm having to read packages again. I've been reading a lot about and taking beet juice. Okay.
Oh.
So it really and I can tell when I drink it because I'll drink it and then I get really hot. So what it does is that it takes the veins and opens up so your blood flow flows better
Oh.
going to your heart. And all of a sudden I'll be like this. My husband's like, "You're hot, right?" And I go, "Yeah." But if it's there's
Wow.
an ingredient called nitric oxide that's in it that helps to open up the veins and the blood vessels. So I've been doing
Ah.
that, eating less salt in my diet. I've also been drinking I want to say hyacinth tea, and it's not hyacinth, it's hibiscus tea that
Okay.
has been, yeah, so hibiscus tea, I've been doing that to help bring, so I've been doing all of those things naturally on my own.
Mhm.
And I've been feeling a lot better. I used to feel my heart going "Ooh," like this, like I would feel
Right.
these. And now I'm just feeling, and also I have my own blood pressure monitor. So
Yeah.
I've been taking my blood pressure at different
I'm glad you
times
mentioned
on
that.
different
Yeah.
days, and actually taking a log. So what the one I have will actually sync to my phone, and so I can look back over the days and see where my heart rate was, what was going on at that time. So there's notes. It'll say what's been going on, and I'll say whatever that is. High. My blood pressure is high because I think of this, and this.
Yeah.
You
Didn't you
know,
experiment with going plant-based for a little bit too?
I'm still working on it. So
Okay.
I have my plant-based shake that I've been doing
Mhm.
for, I don't, maybe it hasn't been a year, maybe it has, but it's been close to a year. And so making my own shakes, I know what exactly is in it, and it's so good. Like I would never know. Someone said, "Oh, this is plant-based." I'd be like, "Wow, that's really good." So I'm still playing around with recipes. I'm still finding out what fits me and what fits my schedule, because in order to be plant-based, you have to think ahead of time.
Yeah. I call
Yeah.
it we did it for a
Mhm.
little bit. My husband
Mhm.
was, like, going through a moment in
Mhm.
time. We're not plant-based right now, but, I call it the shopping and chopping diet
Mhm.
because it does require a lot of prep and a lot of work,
Mhm.
but, but I hear good things about
Yeah.
it. I just haven't done that for myself yet. So again,
Yeah.
here we are, no perfection policy,
Well, we
right?
have a
Like
mutual friend who she calls it the easy button of doing things.
mhm.
you know and so it takes a whole lot of the shopping, yes, is still there, but the chopping part, she doesn't like it either, and she goes, here's the easy button, and I'm like, I like easy buttons.
I'm all about the easy buttons, yes. And that I mean, just talking about, like, watching your salt, that goes back
Mhm.
to it there's heart health issues on my husband's side, and,
Mhm.
I think his dad had 2 open heart surgeries,
Mhm.
but he was also a smoker. So, there's another thing for men.
Yes.
But, the fact that he's allergic to garlic means that, like, even canned soup, you know,
Mhm.
is usually a no-go for him.
High
Um,
sodium.
and so anytime you're looking at those processed foods, things
Mhm.
that come in cans, things that are
Mhm.
made ahead of time with
Mhm.
preservatives and all that,
Mhm.
a lot of times it's high sodium stuff. And
Mhm.
so he does like salt, but I cook with pretty low amounts of salt, and then
Right. Yeah.
he adds what he does. But he doesn't have high blood
Yeah.
pressure.
But I think the
So
easy button for anyone listening, because if you like, let's say, God forbid, I couldn't have ice cream anymore. I know it makes me
that would
sad
be a
just to say
sad
it.
day. We're
It
not
would be
even going to
very,
think about that.
but here's what I want you to think about. If you're listening or you're watching this on replay, you need to bring your blood pressure down, or you want to really, you know, get better at eating. So if you've been doing soups and everything, I'm not going to say stop soup immediately. What I'm going to say is maybe have soup not every day, but kind of space it out a little bit,
Yeah,
and
I
start to
make soup at
wean yourself
home.
off the
Yeah.
high sodium and find a soup in the meantime that's better for you.
Yeah, and find some recipes you like and then
Hmm.
batch.
Batch.
Batch
Oh,
cooking is a beautiful
huge.
thing, and
It's
that's
a
what our
beautiful
friend who's
thing.
plant-based does too. She
Yeah.
she batch cooks a lot of stuff. So when
Hmm.
you can do that, then you've got a quick grab thing waiting in the
Hmm.
fridge for you or the
Hmm.
freezer. And
Hmm.
when you're in that tough moment of decision making that is like make or
Hmm.
break,
You got to grab and go.
right? It's
Yeah.
like, "Okay, well, there's
Hmm.
food in the fridge. I have
Yeah.
stuff ready to go."
Because if you're
So
like me and I come in the house and I'm starving, and I put my hand in the cupboard, and whatever touches, I pull it out. Could be chips, could be it could be any, and I'm eating it. Okay. So I'm trying to be better by making sure I'm eating small amounts of food throughout the day, and then going from there.
and
So
having
it's
stuff you like.
and having stuff you
I
like
think it's the
is
same as with
huge.
the exercise. I think you
Yeah.
gotta you gotta have some stuff that where you don't feel
Yeah.
like you're punishing yourself all the
Yeah, you need a
time.
jump off starting point,
Yeah.
okay? And say, I'm going to walk. And if you haven't been walking in a while, and you say, I'm going to walk 2 miles, please don't do that. Please cut it in half, or cut it in half again, and say, I'm going to do a half a mile. And I'm not saying you can't do the 2 miles. The recovery is the problem. That's what the issue is. You do your 2 miles, you're like, ooh, then you get up the next day and you're like, holy crap, what just hit me? And I don't want you to go through that. So,
Yeah. Awesome. Great.
mhm.
Great, great, great. I think this is probably a good place to leave off.
I think so too.
If you
I
guys
think
have
so
any
too.
questions, or something you want us to talk about in the future,
Mhm.
put a
Let us
comment
know.
in, let us
Yeah.
know. And we'll be back next month on March. What would that be? March 6th.
I was thinking March 6th.
Were you?
I was like,
There you
no, that
go.
can't be it.
Yep,
But
March
it is.
6th. We'll be
Mhm.
back. And yeah, come and join us, and
Mhm.
come join us live so you can jump in the
Mhm.
comments, and we'll do our best. Like if you've got a question on the fly about whatever we're talking
Yeah.
about, we'll do our best to reply to you.
And we
And
were kind of on the fly with this. We're trying to get better, y'all. Again, no perfection.
right.
So we are real people. We're not AI, as you can tell. If I would look a whole lot better if I would say,
I look real, don't I? Sorry. No AI has double chins. Um
oh man. And with that, we're going to go. So until next time, stay salty, my friends. Bye.
Bye.